How about them Cowboys? How about them Dallas Cowboys on Monday? How about them?
That's
Used to put
pathetic,
that
man.
thing on them.
They pathetic.
You know I was
I
going to rub it in
wonder
on you
if
because
it
you know I
takes.
called the game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you have to say in the defense that Joe Mixon made the Dallas Cowboy defense look like they were amateurs?
Well, they got a lot of work to do, man. I don't know whether they're tanking for Shador or what, or lobbying to get this #1 pick where they can get a good quarterback and change their whole outlook of the team, and then change coaches too, because I don't think they set out to have a sorry season this year. I don't think Jerry is a loser like that, and they'll forfeit these games to get a #1 pick, man. You got to thrive every year and get better every year, and they're going backwards. They just paid their star quarterback a ton of money. I mean, a boatload of money to keep him around, and in fact, that money is guaranteed that they gave him. So, and he has a no trade clause in that contract. So they're going to have to do a lot of willing and dealing if they want to get Shador and ultimately try to lure Deion Sanders over there too.
Well, we'll get into that Deion Sanders, Coach Prime thing a little bit on into the show. Looks like here that Dallas has not been back to the Super Bowl since 1996. That's a long time.
Oh, I know.
That is a long time.
But you know what? I can only nitpick and jug at those guys for not being there since then. You know why? Because I'm a Dog fan at heart. I'm a 305 man. And see, look, if I start jugging at them about the last time they been to the Super Bowl, they're going to mess with me about the last time the Dolphins went. So I leave them alone when it comes to that. I just call them sorry and keep it moving.
Yeah. That's really all you can do. And if I were you, I wouldn't make any more bold predictions about the Cowboys the rest of the year, because I don't think Mike McCarthy is going to last. Now,
No, he's not going to last. He's not going to last.
there was discussion today on ESPN Sports, several shows, including First Take, that Bill Belichick's name was brought up as a potential candidate to fill that spot. Let me just say this. Bill Belichick is not going to be the answer for the Dallas Cowboys' woes. Once again, he is not the answer for the Dallas Cowboys' woes. Even if Jerry Jones were to bring him in, I don't see anything going anywhere with Bill Belichick coaching that team. I just don't see it.
Hey, listen, man. Bill Belichick has a feel with that little 27-year-old girl he's dating, so he ain't looking for no coaching job. I seen him out there on the beach with his old ran down looking chest out there with that little 27-year-old girl. He ain't thinking about no football. He's been in it for 50 years, so he probably don't even want another job. He just got to maintain that little 27-year-old, his great granddaughter, he walking around with.
Exactly. And to get back to his, let's just say in the latter part of his coaching career, especially when Tom Brady left to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you saw that New England was not the same team. Now, let me just say this. Bill Belichick is a hell of a coach. I'm not going to take anything away from him. He was a defensive guru when he was with the Giants under Bill Parcells, and they won that Super Bowl. He was fairly young. Then he got hired on at Cleveland, and that was a complete disaster for him. And then he went on, and I believe he was with the New England Patriots the first time around, and I'll research that. And it wasn't so as well. And then the second time around, he came around. I mean, he put the right teams together because he was the current general manager up until, I think, the time that he was pretty much let go. I think Bob Kraft, who's the owner, relinquished him of that general manager duty maybe right before he decided that he wasn't going to bring Bill Belichick back. Listen, there's a lot of schematics that go into the Dallas Cowboys. First of all, it's one of the most popular teams in sports. Second of all, it's one of the most expensive franchises in sports, $10 billion plus from the last time I checked. And thirdly, you have an owner that's quasi general manager. So if you got an owner that does not want to relinquish general manager responsibilities, how can you overcome that? Especially if you Bill Belichick, how can you overcome that?
He tried it already. Remember when Tom Brady left him, he couldn't get back on track. He tried Cam Newton and the host of other people to replace him, and he just couldn't do it. I
Mac
think the
Jones,
time is past. Yeah, the time
quarterback out of Alabama, never could get him on.
And another thing too, remember he lost his defensive coordinator. You remember who his defensive coordinator was?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he lost his defensive coordinator, he lost his quarterback, and his team went downhill. So man, to put that
when he
back
lost
together,
Brian Flores, he pretty much he lost a really big chunk of his defensive aggressiveness from the way the players played, in my opinion.
Good.
And it was never the same when Brian Flores got out of there and ended up going to the Miami Dolphins, which he was a big addition to the Miami Dolphins initially, until his demise in Miami.
Remember how many opportunities they got with Tom Brady being the quarterback when they had a solid defense? When Flores had that defense just shutting people down 3 downs and out, giving Brady opportunity to go up and down the field and score, up and down the field and score. So he lost that up and down the field and score, and he lost the defense that used to give that opportunity to go up and down the field and score. So, man, he would have to dig deep to go into any program to change it around. And I think he's smart enough to realize he don't want to go through that anymore. That method has changed. That whole philosophy of coaching has changed. This is a whole new generation of players. And that tactic that he used, I don't think these younger kids respond to that. So I think what he needs to stay right off at the beach in the third side where he hanging out with that 27-year-old. That's what he need to do.
Absolutely.